How is it possible that concerning children, he had no question? Concerning the land of Israel, he needed a sign. There are many interpretations. I'll give you Chaim's. There's a law that we can't make a blessing on giving charity. You give a blessing for any mitzvah, for putting up a mezuzah on your door, for wearing a talit, for putting on tefillin, for sitting in a sukkah, for making kiddush, for eating matzah. Many, many commandments we have a blessing for. Why is there no blessing for tzedakah, for giving help to the poor? So the answer that's given by the rabbis is a profound answer. Yes, you're ready to give, but who says the other person is ready to take? But the person is needy and he's got his hand out. Yes, but he has the choice whom he wishes to receive charity from. He may not like you. He may get bad vibes from you. He may feel that you're doing it for the wrong reason. And he may close his hand and say, I don't want to take from you. You can't make a blessing on the choice of someone else. God promises Abraham that he's going to give him the land that's inhabited by 7 nations. All the children of Canaan. But 7 nations. There's a lot of people going to be there. And people ask, what right do you have to take it? The answer is, they were wicked. And Israel was righteous. And God took it from the wicked and gave it to his righteous family, righteous children. But there's a problem here, isn't there? Who says that God won't forgive them? Who says that they won't do tshuva? And so Abraham says, how do I know for sure that this is going to happen? And God makes a covenant with him. And according to the Orach Chaim HaKodesh, because he asks for a sign, that's a little bit of a lack of faith. Therefore, we had to go through the problems of 400 years of exile. We had to be in Egypt, slaves for such a long time. He says, Ba'mo'eda, with what will I know? And God says to him, Yodoa Teda, you should know that the reason why they're going to suffer is because you're questioning, according to the Orach Chaim HaKodesh. Well, part of that may have some truth, certainly has truth to it. In my opinion, it's a totally different approach. The question is, why will these people be worthy of taking a land that to this day, up until that point, belongs to someone else? According to Rashi, it really belonged to the house of Shem and was stolen from Shem by the Canaanites. But still, there are other people living there. They've settled there. They have roots there. They have cemeteries there. They have their places of worship. They have their industry. They have their schools. They have their culture. They do some good things too. And so God says no. They'll return when the sin of the Amorites will have reached its conclusion. Sin doesn't necessarily bring retribution. Not right away. It takes a few generations to see if the children will perpetuate the sin of the parents. The Amorites, why are they singled out? The answer may surprise you. The Amorites were the first nation that were conquered by Israel. The other groups were conquered later. The Amorites were very close to Aramea, where Abraham came from. The Amorites apparently were not hospitable to Abraham. Only the dwellers in the south of the land of Canaan, they were more hospitable to Abraham. And as a result of that, they weren't captured right away. But the Amorites were inhospitable, and Abraham saw that. And therefore God told him, just as you've seen that the Amorites are inhospitable, the Amorites not only are the idolaters, they're also not nice people. And that sin that you see will continue for at least 4 generations. And only then, after your children have gone through the purification process, the humiliation of slavery, and the purification that comes from physical suffering, and then receiving the Torah on Sinai, only then will they be worthy to take over the land that heretofore belonged to the Amorites. And the other nations, it depends on how they will handle themselves. If they will abandon their ways, as the Gibeonites did, and as some others did, as did Rahab of the town of Jericho, they will be spared. And you're right, we can't make a blessing on what someone else will do. But I will tell you, you see, the Amorites are evil. They will remain evil, and because they will remain evil on their own, they started evil, they continue evil, I won't send a prophet to get them to do tshuva. For you see, the ability to change has to come from within the person, has to come from regrets that the person himself has. If they have no regrets, God just lets the person go on that way. And therefore, God tells Abraham, you're right. You don't know what's going to happen with all the others. The Canaanites may do tshuva. The Perizzites may do tshuva. The Hittites may do tshuva. The Philistines may do tshuva. But the Amorites, they were nasty to you. They are nasty. They will remain nasty. And they will not do tshuva. Hence, in 4 generations, after the entrance into Egypt, you'll come back. Your children will come back and inherit this land. And that's the answer. Abraham could not be sure that God would not forgive them because they might have changed. And God promised him that they had gone through so much evil at this juncture, not only that it was unlikely they would change, but their decision was not to change. And hence, Israel would be worthy to receive their land. And that's the reason why. For children, he didn't need a sign, because that was directly from God. To take over the land of others, he needed to know why. The answer is, when a nation is unworthy, then they lose their right to the land, and perhaps their right to exist. And this is a warning for those people in so-called Palestine and in Gaza, that unless they change their ways, the same thing will happen to them.